That's the pot I've been making today.
Oh,
I don't like it, but it looks more like a gravy pot.
mine's supposed to.
This one's mine.
Why does it look like a gravy pot?
Vortex has entered Greek times and he's stolen some Greek pottery. So we're making our own Greek pottery to replace that pottery in placement. Thank you. And that's all the pottery we've made so far.
The first week we did myths and legends, so we read some myths and legends together. The children went away and researched the gods and mythical creatures, and they did paintings and they wrote their own myths using characters, and they really got into it.
And this is an example of what was drawn and painted. It's got
mine's over there.
And that's some music notes, while that's Medusa.
That's Medusa.
The children did some research and some maths work, some sort of data handling work on what the pots were decorated with, the pictures, and they found that a lot of them did have myths and legends and gods and things like that on.
And so she's like this female person with snakes for hair. If she stares in your eyes like that, she'll turn you to stone. Straight into your eyes.
I don't feel as if I've taught the children any knowledge. I haven't sat and said, this god did this, and in ancient Greek times this happened. What I've done is really sort of help them with their research skills. So they've gone away and found out everything, all the things that they know and all the things you were talking to them. I haven't told them any of that, and in fact they know a little bit more than me sometimes.
Heracles.
Yeah,
Not
Heracles.
Hercules.
I was going to say Hercules.
Poseidon. Demeter. He's half man and half fish.
Midas.
Demeter.
Titus.
If she's
Midas.
It's Demeter. If she's happy, she makes the crops grow. If she's not happy, the crops don't grow. They die. If she's not happy, because
Literacy and English and writing and things naturally fit into history, and art does, and things like that naturally fit in. But maths was one of the things that I had to think about a little bit harder when I was doing the planning and things. Once I sort of sat down and thought about it and talked to other staff about it and things, you know, there was other ways to bring it in. So I've done things like I've had an accounts department on certain days where the children have had to work out the accounts when the wages have gone out the bank, and done addition and subtraction strategies and problem solving. I had to think about it a little bit more maybe than I normally would, but the children have probably got more out of it because there's a purpose to it.
9, 10.
And the children have really sort of almost matured in a way with the way that they are working together. They've sort of built in confidence themselves, you know, they're taking on more responsibility. They've got more of an idea now because they've done a couple of presentations on a Friday to the Time Council, sort of given their evidence in. They're now a bit more serious about getting the evidence ready.
On that. That's a funny colour. And we were searching about the gunpowder plot.
Why?
Because we need to know what really happened to stop Vortex from messing it up. I've got on the list. I've got the list.
All through the week we've got a countdown clock in the main corridor which is counting down to a Friday afternoon, so they're very aware that, you know, they're on a deadline and there's time slipping away. So on a Friday they come along and they present in front of the three of us.
We have been researching about Victoria's. We are about to show you a PowerPoint of Queen Victoria. We are going to inventions, schools and homes. Here's a taster of what schools were like in the Victorian times. Straight back, hands behind your back, no laughing. What's 1,087 times 165? 6,000. No, come here.
It's quite a daunting task to suddenly come and stand in a kind of almost a formal situation. But they've blown us away again with the kind of importance that they've put on it. When they actually go back to their sector, there's a genuine kind of anticipation and nervous energy about whether or not we're going to say yes or no to their presentation, but whether it can be included in the website.
Right, we've got it. Just walk. Emily.
Fingers crossed. Do you think we've done it?
Yeah.
Sit down, Robbie.
Good afternoon, agents. After giving careful consideration to your report, the Time Council have validated it for inclusion in the Timeline website. Congratulations and well done.
Yes! Give yourself a clap.
So the idea of the Time Institute is that we are finding out about the past, right? That's fine. Why are we finding out about the past? Well, we're finding out about the past to let other people know. So the reason behind what we're doing here is informing the public. So the website kind of came from that. So the idea is that the work that they've done then goes and becomes part of the Timeline website, which is a record of what we've done. It's going to be interactive in terms of, you can find out about the events that we've investigated. At the moment, we've got a practitioner called Cliven who comes in. He's working with the children on the design of it and how it's going to look, and he's going to build that for us, but he's also going to give us some staff training on how to actually edit and use the website so that we can use it with the children and we can build it whichever way we want it to go.
And you're going to put a finish line in as well? Yeah, that looks like a finish line to me.
We've had a variety of practitioners working with us this time. We've had Cliven, who is a web designer. We've also had Paulin, who is an animator, and he's worked with the younger children on producing animations related to their anomaly that they had. But he has also worked with the older children to actually give them training on how to use the programme. We've also had Lindsay working with us. She's an artist. She works physically and digitally.
Photograph, look in different books and find some different photographs of steam trains.
And the sort of things that she's been doing with the children is, for instance, in Sector 4, they were looking at Greek pottery. So what they actually did was they looked at the images of art that are on Greek pots and they recreated them themselves, kind of dressed up, photographed themselves, and then they added themselves into the images. So what we've ended up with are images of Greek pottery with our children superimposed on them. Mark has used drama with the children, and when you're talking to a child in year 1 about evacuees in World War II, it's just so out of their kind of realm of understanding that you kind of need a different way into it with them, and that's worked really well.
Nursery is not a time institute. Time for 3 and 4-year-olds is a very difficult concept. They find it difficult to relate between yesterday, today and tomorrow. So doing anything in history is difficult. So we are not a time institute, we are working in an art gallery. The whole of one end is in role play. So we have the gallery, we have the cafe and the shop. And in these areas the children can draw, they can create their own pictures, they can frame them, they can put them up in the gallery. They can play in the shop, so they're working with money, they're working with numbers. In the cafe, they are writing orders, they're working as a team. The whole of the curriculum can actually be accessed, the early years curriculum can be accessed through this role play. And we've put in 3 classical pictures, which we've talked about, and we found out the artists, and one of the main artists is Leonardo. Leonardo comes to visit us through the time machine and brings us various problems. A siren noise will go off and the children know that there is something in the time machine, so then they will come and see.
Does it sound like Leonardo? Are you right?
What? The colour you put back? Oh my goodness!
They know why he's coming. They know that he's going to bring a problem. And when Leonardo talks to them, then they respond really well. And it's lovely to see.
Oh, you're making me very happy.
Yay.
Thank you, guys. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. You're making me happy. You truly do.
They particularly respond to the fact that we've got Leonardo who comes to visit them. And it acts as a third person, and they want to do things for him. And it gives an extra perspective to their play. And they're coming up with ideas too. We do cooking within nursery and been cooking with Italian food this term to tie in with Leonardo. And it was the children's idea that we cook pizza and that we sent him a piece through the time machine. And they were actually thrilled to see, A, that the pizza was going in the time machine, and it had disappeared.
I wanted... Oh, I was just about to say this. You make this for me? Was you?
Yeah.
Oh, it was amazing. It was just like my mama used to make.
And they hadn't forgotten, because when he came to visit, you know, did you like the pizza? So, yes, it's works very well.
Excuse me, you see how much you helped me with my Mona Lisa? And you helped me with putting the colours back into these sunflowers? I now need your help with the flying machines. Can you do this?
Yeah.
Right.
So my actual class is reception, and we are involved in the Time Institute as well. The children are time agents still, and they come to work and they work in Sector W, and we are essentially doing the same thing as the rest of the school. The philosophy behind what we're doing is the same. We're still looking for those, you know, kind of developing those 6 attributes. The way that we're doing it in terms of the context is slightly different, in that we are being presented with missions still from the past, but that are related to artwork. So we've been helping Leonardo da Vinci because Vortex has stolen part of his painting. This week we're looking at an Edward Hopper painting that Vortex has stolen the people from. So we're having to repopulate the painting. So the children are coming up with characters and thinking about where that person's going, who they live with, what their job is.
Tanya.
Mrs. Tanya? And where does she live, I wonder?
And then we're actually going to kind of create these characters physically ourselves, dress up as them, and photograph ourselves so we can put ourselves into the image.
Brilliant. And can you look behind you now? That's perfect, isn't it? Because if he's checking where those people are, right, Sapphire, you're going to take out a picture.
So the work that we're doing in reception is all about those core attributes, but basically just done through a slightly different context than the rest of the school.
He lives by himself. He lives in the flat above the barbers by himself.
At the beginning I don't know what to expect, but I have really enjoyed it. It's been really almost relaxing in a way, because the children have had that responsibility and the independence.
Well, they've enjoyed coming to school for a start, so they've enjoyed the whole learning experience.
Because I'm teaching in more focused groups, they've got more of my direct teaching time, where it's easier to spot, oh, he's not quite getting that, so you can bring them on that way. And they're scaffolding each other within their little teams.
I think it's good how they can include all the curriculum and the outcomes in a creative way, rather than just sitting going through the national standards, so that's been a big benefit.
In terms of the literacy and the maths and things like that, I think, you know, I can see the benefits of it being completely cross-curricular. The children just see much more of a purpose for it. They sort of embed themselves in it, and you know, they go home at night and do more research and bring it in the next day.
I think the children are enthusiastic with the learning styles, with the research, and obviously trying to do the presentation gives them that extra confidence as well.
And then you get the kind of the anecdotes that come up where kids are going for their break and saying, oh, well, I've had 10 minutes, but I need to go back and finish what I'm doing so I can go get to the next thing. So they take 5 minutes less, and it's all the little things like that when they come together and you get this bigger picture of what's going on, it's really kind of quite wow, and you think, oh, this is really, really working.